Hey, so I have a recommendation for you. It is a book recommendation. I know that this is backwards. So it is called Resurrecting Empire. It is by Rashid Khalidi. Rashid Khalidi is the same author who wrote 100-Year War in Palestine. He's a Palestinian historian, and I feel like his works are very important, and a lot of people have read, especially the 100-Year War on Palestine. This book was written in 2004, and it is about the history, like it starts off with the history of Western imperialism in like the North African, South Asian area, the Middle East. And then it goes into talking about specifically the Bush administration and this whole push on spreading democracy in the Middle East, and how that was the main justification that the Bush administration, following administrations, and what manufactured the most consent within the domestic population of the United States to participate in this imperialism of the Middle East region. History is important for understanding why we are where we're at now. I've seen a lot of people trying to disconnect history from our present moment, and those are the type of people that tend to think of historical events as happening in a vacuum and inherently disconnected from each other. Books like this, though, and especially having been written in 2004, so we now have the hindsight of more than 20 years to look back at what was happening then, what the opinions about it were, what people had, like human rights activists and anti-imperialists had said what was going to be happening, and see that come to fruition now in 2025. And it is extremely important for Americans specifically, people in the West generally, but Americans specifically, to understand what U.S. policy is, what U.S. foreign policy is, and to understand that U.S. foreign policy is not somehow separated in its impact from domestic policy. U.S. imperialism has a huge impact on the inequity and the oppression that people face domestically as well. So yeah, history is important. It is important to know about these things, to understand how they're connected, and reading is fundamental in that understanding. If you want to join me on some of my lives, I'm often reading from this book, and will be reading from any other book that I feel like is important, or any book that I am reading currently myself. This is one that I'm also currently reading myself. So yeah, if you prefer to say listen to books instead of read them, that's something that I'm offering during these lives, while also raising money for Palestinians. All of my lives are dedicated directly to raising money for Palestinian families that I have become very, very familiar with, built relationships with. So yeah, if you want to listen to some historical education, which again is very important, understand U.S. imperialism, and participate in donating to families in Gaza and helping them survive, then stop by one of my lives. If you see me on live, then yeah, come on in.